what patents are most valuable?
So I think this next slide, I put it together yesterday specifically for you guys because you don't want, if you're going to pursue becoming a patent inventor or a patent owner, not all patents are created equal. So what are the valuable patents? What are the patents that are really going to make you shine? So major technology breakthroughs, I call them foundational patents. Many of the startups I work with, the first set of patents, or even the patent that we do first, is kind of the overall of the system. It's that foundation of the breakthrough technology. And then over the years, we'll do improvements or a small piece of the system, or as they're developing, there's something that's very interesting that we do. But it's those very foundational, those technology breakthroughs, those are the most valuable because those are the ones nobody else can do, right? So if you create a chair and you get a patent on a chair and that's your foundational patent, if later on you find out that the chair can have 3 legs instead of 4 and you get a patent on that, well, that's not as valuable as your patent on the overall chair. So any new products and services, you want to consider anything that's productized or can be productized, any services, methodologies, those are the kind of things, because they have a competitive advantage. There are people in the marketplace that are interested in buying it. And then, like I said, any major updates or releases, adding new features, they can be valuable, but I don't consider them as valuable. And if you're looking at the patent from a business perspective, anything that your competitors want to do too, right? So anything where there's a competitor trying to solve your problem at the same time, if you get there first, that makes it that much more valuable. You are the industry expert. So people ask me sometimes, should all new ideas be patented? Now, you may have a reason that you want the patent other than, what some people would want it for, which is a business reason. But you really want, when people come to me, there are times where I say, well, what you have is patentable, but maybe we shouldn't. So when you're looking at patents, you want to distinguish between concept, invention, and what I call innovation. And you see the money bags kind of down by the innovation. So an invention is a concept, an idea that you have, plus enablement. That means you figured out how to make it work. So if you're out and about and you come up with some idea that you're like, oh, I really think that if there was a platform that did this, it would be so much easier than the way I have to do things today. That's a concept. If you figure out how to enable it and actually put it into practice and maybe make a prototype, that's enablement. In fact, patent applications and patents require enablement. That's the description and drawings. You have to remember what I said at the beginning. You have to show how to actually put it into practice. And by the way, I did say a prototype is a good idea, but you don't have to have a prototype. Many inventors never do, or they'll get the patent and then go out and find investors and do the prototyping afterward. But a valuable innovation, the ones that you really want to consider patenting, is that invention, so concept plus enablement, along with market need. Because you know what, if you create the next best thing since sliced bread, but nobody wants it, you can get a patent, but proving that it adds value to the country or to the world is a little more difficult. So that's what you're really looking for is, I like to say when creativity makes money. That's the area you want to look in. So people ask me again, we talked about the value, should all new ideas be patented? And some of this, I like this chart, but some of it I've actually already said. So you want to look at use, your own company use and your competitors' use. Is this an area where people, whether it's your company, your business, yourself, or your competitors, are operating in? You want to look at enforcement. So this is tricky because if you invent something and the invention, let's stick with software because I've used software examples a few times. So for this one, I'll stick with it. So say you create some new way to do a user interface. So there are others out there, but you come up with a new way. But nobody, if somebody else copies that, it's not noticeable because even though it's a new way, the end user doesn't know the difference, right? Like, a lot of people are starting to use AI. So if you implement something where AI makes the processing that much faster because it can take into all this knowledge in the world, maybe nobody notices it. Now, if someone copies that, how are you going to find it? How are you going to enforce? So ease of detection is really, really important when you're deciding what is a valuable patent. The ability to then enforce later when somebody copies you. Obviously, a design patent is the opposite end, right? It looks just like your product. Very easy to detect. Commercialization, how easy is it to implement? Again, if you just want the patent, that's great. Then you don't have to think about commercialization. But if you want to make money from the patent, you want to, or even, whether it's licensing or actually building the product or service yourself, how easy is it actually to commercialize? Or is it going to take you 3 years to even implement it or more? And then impact, which really covers relevance, business relevance, strategic relevance, and just in general impact to you, in this case being perhaps getting anointed as an expert in your field or to your business.